Good morning, Berlin seniors. Welcome to another yoga class. I'm going to start in the chair and progress to standing, and then we'll go to the floor. However, if anything is too difficult for you, you can always come back to the chair. You can always just modify, and I'll try to help you do that along the way. Okay, so let's start with just a moment of centering. So sit up nice and tall in your chair, supporting your own spine. Take your shoulders up, down, and back. And we'll close our eyes if you'd like to, of course. Just bring your awareness to the breath. To the present moment. And when you're ready, come back, open your eyes. Okay, let's begin. So let's move to the front of our chairs. Seated up nice and straight and tall. We'll use the arms to welcome the breath out and all the way up. And as you exhale, let the arms out and down. Let's do that a couple more times. And then one last time. And this time we're going to take the arms out and up. And then we'll interlace our fingers and press your palms to the ceiling. And then we'll just take it side to side. Certainly use your breath to exhale to one side. And the inhale to bring it to center. Let's do it one more time on each side. And then release the fingers, hands, and arms, and we'll reach them back to your chair, and we're going to open the chest. Just kind of drop your chest forward. Nice opening here. And let's come out of this with an exhale. So we'll inhale. And then bring your arms and hands together out in front as you round through your spine. And then the inhale and reach back to your chair, open the chest. So we'll move in and out using our breath. And last one. And then we'll take the hands to your thighs, sit up nice and straight and tall. Let's do a little side to side. So this is my left hand holding under the chair, and then my right arm right up next to my ear, and we're going to move side to side again. And then we'll switch it up. So move nice and slow. And take this opportunity to just open the whole side. Our goal here is to move the spine in every direction. Front and back, side to side, and some twists. Let's do one more on each side. And then we'll inhale to center and release the arms. Let's roll the shoulders. I have to warn you, things are pretty busy here at House Santello. I know. You let her out. We have pets and roommates, old men. And now we'll take the circle forward. And just one more. And then we'll take the arms out to the side and bring your palms forward and give yourself a nice big hug. I like to add a twist to this. And then we'll come to the center and notice which arm you have on top. We're going to switch it up. So out to the side, give yourself a nice big hug. And we'll add a twist. And coming to the center. Release the arms, hang them down by your side. We'll give them a little shake. Let's do something for the hands. So show the palms of your hands, and we'll do a little open, close, open, close. So when you open, stretch, lots of space between the fingers. And then when you close, give it a good squeeze. And then squeeze your hands into fists, and we'll roll them round and round. This is a good stretch. And then come to the top and move in the opposite direction. And then we'll release the hands, release the arms. Let's take the right arm out in front and press through the palm of your hand. And then I'm going to take the 4 fingers back and really get a good stretch. And other side, left arm. Draw the 4 fingers back. Get a good stretch. And then we'll just give those hands a shake. Rub them together, create some heat. And don't forget the tops. And in between your fingers. Okay, let's do a little bit of a twist here. We'll take the right arm out to the side and bring it all the way over to your left knee, and then your left hand comes on top. And we'll sit up nice and straight and tall and reach. And then close. So as you inhale, draw the arm back and let the exhale close the hands together. Let's do a few more. And last one. And we'll switch it up. Left arm out to the side, all the way over to your right knee, and right hand on top. We'll do 5. And just one last one. And hands on thighs, sitting up nice and straight and tall. Let's start with a breath and then we'll move forward. So nice big breath. And as you exhale the breath, let the hands just go over your knees and down towards your ankles. Hang the head if you feel like you can. Press your feet into the floor as you walk yourself up. And we'll take another breath. Let's do that a couple more times. In breath, fill it up, and then reaching forward and down. When you're ready to take your next breath in, walking up and back. Let's do one more. Beautiful. Let's settle back in our chair and we'll do something for the legs and the feet. So I'm just going to stretch out my left leg and press through the heel, really activate it. We'll do a little point and flex. And then we'll move it round and round, big circles. And stop at the top and move in the opposite direction. This is a little harder. And switch. So now my right leg, pressing to the heel, point and flex. And then round and round. And stop at the top, opposite direction. So we're taking inventory, noticing which ankle is tighter, which one has more flexibility. Let's stretch both legs out in front, press through the heel. Do a little point and flex. And then we'll make some circles towards each other. And then away from each other. And then just tap your toes and your mat and wake them up. Okay, I think we're ready to stand. So I'm going to stand behind my chair. See how that angle is. That's pretty good. On the creek, I'm sorry. Okay, so we're going to lift up on to the balls of our feet, and I see you can see my feet, so that's good. So you can use your chair or challenge yourself and lift yourself up onto the balls of your feet. Now notice when you're up there, if the weight kind of falls out to the side, see if you can keep it balanced between the base of your big toe and the pinky toe. Sometimes it helps if you use your arms. It helps kind of stabilize your weight. So let's do it once more and then we'll hold it for a breath. Challenging to hold that. And then we'll let it go. And lift your toes nice and high. We'll hold that for a breath. Okay. Let's roll to the outside of your feet. I'm holding onto my chair. And then bring it back to center. And roll to the outside again. You can use whatever breath works for you. And then we'll open our feet just a bit and take one foot, roll it to the inside of your ankle, and then the other. We'll do it a few times on each foot. And then walk your feet into mountain, and we'll just balance it out. Come to center, lifting up onto the balls of your feet, down onto the feet, and then lift the toes. Okay, let's try a balancing pose. I'm going to move my chair a little forward. Actually, I'm going to move it out to the side so you can see, and if you do the same, then you'll have it there if you need it. So I'm beginning in mountain with my shoulders up, down, and back. And let's take the hands on our hips, unless you want to hold on to your chair. And then I'm going to take the left foot and just point the toe out to the side, out in front and off to the side. And then bring the feet together. That's a balance pose in itself. And then over to the right, point the toe down to the floor. And then together. So you can feel your thighs squeeze together. And we'll just float that left knee up. Hang the foot over your mat. Just kind of let it hang. And the little wiggles are good. It's your body trying to do what you're asking it to do. Come back to center for a breath. And then when you're ready, just float that right knee up. Hover the foot over your mat. Wiggles are okay. And back together. Let's try a tree. So tree pose, we're going to do essentially the same thing, this time coming out to the side, left leg, up onto the balls of your feet, and then we're going to walk it in. Hands at your heart, namaste. And then when we get the bottom kind of situated, we'll lift the arms. So if you want to stay here, this is kind of like a little bush pose. If you want to add a little difficulty, you can float that foot up and then the arms into tree. And then when you're ready, release the feet, release the arms. Let's take a breath between. Okay, hands on my hips, other side now. So this is my right foot up onto the ball of my foot. I'm walking it into the ankle. You can stay right here, hands to your heart. If you want to add that difficulty, just draw the foot up the inside and then grow your branches. Let's hold for a breath. Oop. I almost lost it. I got my ceiling here. And we'll let it go. Coming back to mountain. Let's take a breath. So I'm taking my chair to the top of my mat. And I thought we could do sun breath, which is a forward bend, a half forward bend. I'm going to walk right up to my chair, standing in mountain. Let's do a forward bend. And then bend from your hips and come forward. Certainly, if you don't need your chair, and then we'll inhale up into a half forward bend. If you're not using the chair, use your thighs, your hands against your thighs. Try not to push your knees back. Try to have a little bend in them. And then we'll inhale out and all the way up. And exhale the hands to your heart, namaste. So I'll do one using the chair and then one without. So here we go, sun breath. It starts with a breath in. And then a forward bend. And then a half forward bend. And a forward bend. Let the arms come out to the side, or you can always walk them up. Reaching in namaste. Let's try one without the chair. Inhaling out and up. Forward bend. Half forward bend. And forward bend. You have the option to walk up or use the arms out to the side and all the way up. And namaste. Very nice. We do a wardrobe adjustment. Okay. We're warming up, so let's use a breath of joy, a good warm up. Brings in lots of heat and energy, and it looks like this. The arms go out and up on the first breath. The arms go out to the side on the second breath. Out in front again on the third breath, and then all the way down and through on the exhale. So the breath goes like this. It comes in 3 stages. And then you let it out. Again like this. And then you let it out with the. All right, let's put it together. We'll do 3. So these are quite energetic and heat building. So if you feel at all a little dizzy, use your chair. I'll do 1 using the chair. Why don't I do the first one using the chair? And then the other 2 without. Okay, you're using your arms. Without the chair. Take a moment to take a little stock. See how you're doing. Again. I'm going to use my hands and walk up to mountain. I'm feeling ready for yoga. Okay, let's do some warrior poses. We'll keep building on this heat. So I'm going to place my chair to the side, just in case I need it. So warriors always begin in mountain pose, and I'm going to step forward with the right foot. Big step forward. Hips are aligned. They're both pointing forward. And I'm going to use my arms to come in and out. Here we go. And then exhale out and down. And last one, we'll hold for a breath. Let's walk our feet together, back into mountain. Breath in between, hands on our hips. Left foot, step it forward. Don't be afraid to make a big step. Arms by your side. Using your arms and the breath to bring us into warrior. And the exhale to take us out. Last one, we'll hold for a breath. Let's walk the feet together and hold for a breath. Okay, let's come down onto our bottoms and we'll sit on the floor. Okay, legs out in front and sitting up nice and straight and tall. Let's place our hands along either side of your hip. Take your shoulders up, down, and back. This is Dandasana, or staff pose. And let's move from here. We're going to move forward from the hip, not round into the spine. We're not trying to get anywhere. We're looking to kind of make this fold. So bring your torso forward, bending from the hip. I have my hand on either side of my knee. And if you feel like you can, reach to your toes, or reach to the outside of your feet, or maybe just hands on your thighs or shins. We're doing that forward bend. Let's ease up and come back. Never any back pain in forward bend. And if it does make your back feel tight and uncomfortable, then I would encourage you to put a bend in the knee, and it helps to create the fold that we're talking about. And then we can get to those toes. But we never want to stress the back by coming forward. If your back is stressed. Forward bend. So let's come out and up a forward bend. And I'm going to take my left foot, the sole of my left foot, and place it into the side of my right thigh. Now the idea is for this knee to be down and for this hip to be open. But that doesn't always happen, and that's okay. We'll take a hand on either side of the outstretched leg. And at the same time, you're thinking about drawing that knee to the floor. In 1 minute, I'm going to show you how to do this using a chair, where you would just extend one leg. Okay, so if you can reach to that toe or to your ankle, have the gaze be down towards your knee. And when you're ready, we'll come out and up, and the knee comes in and then away. We'll go to the other side. So the sole of your right foot into the thigh of your left. And again, I have some space, and that's okay. Hand on either side of the knee. The gaze is down towards your knee as we create the fold. And then the last part would be the reach, if it's comfortable. And when you're ready, come back and up. Stretch both legs out, and we'll give them a little shake. Now, I said I would show you how to do it in a chair, so I don't want to forget to do that. Let's do that. Anything you can do on the floor, you can do in a chair. So for this, you would have to come to the edge of the chair and stretch one foot forward, and then just come up onto the outside of the foot. We're just looking for the opening. I wouldn't encourage anyone to come forward here. I would just sit up nice and straight and tall. Okay, I'm going to come back down to the mat. And we ended here at Dandasana. So let's bring the soles of our feet together. This can also be done on your chair. You would want to be at the edge of your chair, and then again, just bring your soles of your feet together. You wouldn't reach forward, you would just sit up nice and straight and tall. And allow those hips to open. And that's what we're doing here. So reach to your toes or your ankles, and don't lose the tall spine. We can add a little butterfly flap here. And then we'll draw the knees together and stretch the legs forward. Let's take the knees, or heels rather, nice and wide. And again, don't lose your nice tall spine. You don't want to try to get them so open and wide so that you're compromising your spine. You want it to sit up nice and straight and tall. So let's bring the hands between the knees, and we're just thinking about bringing the energy forward. This is quite a stretch. So coming forward might not work for you. Maybe you just want to sit up nice and straight and tall. And then we'll take the torso and kind of aim it over. And this is my left leg, outstretched leg. Try not to lose this kind of grounding here. Don't let the sit bone come up. See if you can keep it grounded. So it's more of a twist. And then you could always reach to the toes. Again, don't compromise your spine to do that. Coming back to the center and then over to the other leg. Hand on either side, right outstretched leg. We're looking to create the fold. And the last part would be the reach. And then we'll come up and back and bring the soles of your feet together. Sitting up nice and straight and tall. Let's bring the knees together and stretch your legs forward. Let's do a little flapping of the toes. Good for the ankles. And then we'll create some space between your heels and just make your feet like rubber. Just let them go. Shake them off. Okay. From here, let's go to hands and knees. So take your time and come into your hands and knees. Now, if you're on your chair, you can do the cat and cow, which is what we're going to do, just seated, by kind of exhaling and rounding and inhaling and opening your chest, shoulders back. It's really all about your spine. How you can round it forward and then draw it back. So you're stretching this part of your spine as you open it up, and then the back of your spine as you round. So that's an easy to do in a chair. So let's do it on our hands and knees. So if you have wrist issues, I always tell people to kind of walk your hands just a little bit forward so there's not all that direct pressure going down. And we're going to move into cat and cow. So this is cow. And then into the cat. And then the movement is always about your spine. And then your head just kind of goes for the ride. It's not directing anything. Now, as we come into the next cow, let's press back into child's pose. So child's pose in your chair is just hands on thighs, just coming a bit forward and resting. Child's pose on the floor can be hard for some people to get their forehead down without lifting your bottom, and that's not what we want. We're not looking for this. We're really looking for a nice rounding, So if your forehead doesn't quite come down, there's always things you can do, and rounding your fist is one of them. Or just maybe one fist. And then when you're ready, walk your hands up and back. We'll come into the hero's pose or the high kneel if you have knee issues. Okay, back to hands and knees. Let's bring our knees together so that we're kind of centered. And then stretch back the left leg. I'm pointing my toe. And I'm going to bring the knee in as I draw my head down towards the knee. So we'll just point it back and bring it under. Let's do one more. So that would be 6. And then bring the knees together. And we'll go to the other side. So right leg, point the toes. Make sure you're breathing. Just 2 more after this one. And last one. Knees together. This time we're going to open them up nice and wide, and we'll press back into frog pose. Nice deep breath in. And then walking your hands back. Knees together for the rock pose or the high kneel. Before we drop back down into hands and knees, let's press our hips forward. Press them forward. Roll your shoulders up, down, and back, and squeeze your shoulder blades. Pressing those hips forward. A gentle back bend. Hands can be on your hips for a little support. Fingers in the front, thumbs in the back. Try not to do a crunching in your low back. You don't want to put strain there by compressing. You want to leave everything open, so that's why you're lifting up at the same time as you're opening your hips. And coming back to neutral, let's go to hands and knees again. Okay, so stretching out left leg. I'm just going to come up on my big toe, around and back, and then out to the side. And have just a micro bend in the knee as you do that. And this is easy to do in your chair, edge of chair, coming up on your heel maybe rather than the toe. And let's go to the other side. So this is my right leg, stretching it out. I'm up on the toe. I can't go quite out to the side over here, and that's okay. And then back to the center, and let's press your bottom back to your heels, child's pose. Let's hold for a breath in child's pose. And when you're ready, walking hands back. Rock pose and the high kneel. And then just once more into table. Some nice space between your knees. And let's move into the downward dog. So we'll roll those toes under. On the exhale, we'll lift the knees and press back into down dog. If your feet, your heels don't quite come to the floor, that's okay. You can play with walking the dog. And when you're ready, to let it go. We'll come back into child's pose again. You can do wide knees or knees together, adding some pressure to your diaphragm. That's a good thing. Working that muscle. And when you're ready, walking up and back. Rock pose or the high kneel. Let's come all the way down onto our belly. Now let's go down to our belly. Stretch those legs away, a little space between your heels. I have my hands on the outside of the line of my chest, so they're under my shoulders. You don't want them way up here or way down here. It's lined up under your shoulder. And we'll use the exhale to lift the back of the head. And we're lifting the back of the head. We're using the muscles of the back to do it. We're keeping our spine in line and really reach down through those legs and toes. And then release on one side of your face. And we'll get our forehead and nose ready using the power of the exhale in your back muscles. So we're not pressing it to come up. We're using our back muscles, stretching down through the legs and resting on the other side. So let's press up, hands and knees. We'll settle in the rock pose or crisscross. And we'll get ready to go all the way down onto our back. When we're up, down, and all around, sometimes your equilibrium or you can get a little dizzy. So take your time with each movement. And go all the way down. Sorry, wardrobe malfunction. Okay, so all the way to the floor. My knees are bent, my feet are on the floor. Let's take the arms down by your side. And just breathe into your belly. Open the back of your neck. Take your chin down just a bit. Let's take our hands on our thighs and we'll use the exhale to do a reach. So starting with a breath in. And then we'll exhale and reach towards your knees, so working your abs, and then come down. Let the effort come from your abdominal muscles and not your head or neck. So we're using the exhale to reach. Let's do a couple more. And then the last one we'll hold. And release. And just gently rock the head from side to side. Flatten out those shoulder blades. Take the shoulders down and just gently roll the head from side to side. No stress on your neck. Okay, let's take the left ankle and just set it on your right knee. And this is my left hand on the side of my knee, And I'm just kind of opening that space. And then if you wanted to go a little further, take the left hand and put it through the hole so you can grab hold of that thigh. You're reaching right around the thigh and let the bottom half of your leg just hang. Now see if you can release your head and neck. Remember, it's no stress there. Getting a good stretch here in your hip. So then we'll release the thigh and then release the ankle, and we'll go to the other side. So left ankle, right thigh. Right hand just opens the knee because we're looking to open the hip. And then we'll take the right hand through the hole here to go ahead and lift the thigh. The bottom half of your leg can hang. And see if you can release the head and shoulders down to your mat. Some people are like this. So you don't want that. You want to be, your spine needs to be supported here. And then when you're ready, release the thigh, release the ankle, and we'll take both knees into your chest. I'm crossing my ankles, and I'm going to rock from side to side. So if you were seated in your chair, you could take one knee in to your chest, never both. Rocking side to side. And then with our hands on our knees, let's make circles all the way around your sacrum. And then center and go in the other direction with your circles. And then we'll drop the feet to the mat. Let's take one knee into your chest. This is my left knee. And then extend right leg away, activate the feet. We could even do some circles here. And then, of course, you would change the direction. And then release the left knee. Take the right knee into your chest. Stretch left leg long. Activate the feet. Let's do some circles. And then, of course, we'll change the direction. And then release the knee. Let's go back to the first left knee. Stretch the other leg away. And this time we'll add the abs here. So we'll start with the breath in. And then exhale, knees to nose, nose to knees. And then gently release your head and neck. No stress on the head and the neck. The effort's coming from your belly. So let's try that again. Starting with the breath in. And then gently release the head and neck. And then we'll release the knee. Go to the other side. Right knee. Left leg stretches away. On an exhale. And then gently release. No stress. Head or neck. Last one. Gently release. Head and neck and release. Knees. Let's stretch the legs long. Arms down by your side. See if you can flatten those shoulder blades to open the chest. Let's place our hands on our belly for a couple of nice deep breaths. Imagine that the space under your hands is a balloon and you're attempting to fill it up as much as you can. And then as you let the breath go, really pull it in and squeeze all of the air out. Let's bend our knees and stretch away just one leg. This is my left leg. And I'm going to point the toe and then lift the leg right up to the ceiling. Don't lose your support of your low back. So I feel kind of a lifting. So you want to keep that grounded. It's about the strength of your leg and your core. And then as you exhale it down, we'll press through the heel and bring it down. So the inhale lifts it up. Remember, we're keeping it grounded, and the exhale brings it down. So let's do 7 more of these, and that'll be 10. Just 2 more after this. In this last one, we're going to hold and stretch and point, and then release. And then we'll go to the other side. So right leg, stretch it away, point the toe as you lift, press to the heel as you lower. Okay, almost halfway there. Just 2 more after this. And last one. Stretch, stretch, point, point. Don't lose your grounding. And then bend the knee. Let's walk the knees nice and wide. And if you're in your chair, you can easily walk those knees nice and wide. Be at the edge of your chair, and we'll take turns dropping one knee to center. Let's inhale the knees to point up to the ceiling, and then we'll drop them to one side and just hold for a breath. And then we'll inhale them up and drop them to the other side and hold for a breath. And then lift and walk the feet together. Again, bring those knees to your chest, cross your ankles, and we'll rock from side to side. Let's drop the feet and get ready for our Shavasana. So extending legs nice and long, if that's going to be okay. For some people, it's too much on their back. So you can always bend your knees, walk your feet wide, and then teepee your knees together. And that'll take the stress from your low back. Anytime you bend your knees, it's helpful for your low back. I'm going to stretch my legs wide, and I'm going to put some space between my heels and let my feet just kind of fall out to the side. And then kind of notice what's happening in your low back. You want it to be nice and flat on the lowest part, your sacrum, but you want to have this little space just above your low back. That way we're supporting the curves of our spine. Our spines aren't flat. And then shoulder blades flatten out so that you're open through your chest, and certainly take your arms away from your body. Bring the chin down a bit towards your chest to open the back of your neck, but don't press your head back. Let it just be supported. Let's hold this pose for 8 breaths in and out. Try your best to stay focused on your breath. And if for some reason your mind wanders, and it probably will, just bring it back to the breath. So that was 8 breaths for me. I'm going to bend my knees and just roll to your side. Make a pillow with your hands. And help yourself come back to seated. And we'll end in crisscross pose. Certainly if you're in your chair, just seated in your chair. Taking a nice deep breath in. Sitting up nice and straight and tall. Let's bring our hands together in front of our hearts. A little bow. Namaste. And that's the end of our class today. I hope you did well. I hope if you were in your chair, that you were guided as well as you could be. If you weren't, let me know. I'm always open for feedback. I mean, we're always working to get better. So if you have any comments, suggestions, I'd love to hear them. Have a great Saturday.